These are the things you will need, and we are starting right now. The battery is one of the most important part of your e-bike. It is also one of the most dangerous components if used incorrectly. There are tons of videos and advice available. However, I am going to share my method, which I have named IMP, to protect my delivery investment. What is IMP? IMP stands for Identify, Maintain and Protect. My e-bike uses an external type of battery like this, which are used by Kol Max, EcoDrive, Orca and G-Move. Let's look at the different parts of the battery. This is the power indicator here, which means there should be a PCB located around here. This is where I connect the e-bike to the battery. A single cable draws power from the battery to enable the e-bike to function. This is a standard ignition key slot, which you can find in most cars and motorbikes. This is the charging port with a swivel cap. Always remember to cover your charging hole after you disconnect the charger to prevent any accidental insertion of your key. I have heard instances where a fellow rider tried to insert his key into the charging hole and the battery stopped working. The fuse for the battery is actually located over here. Let me unscrew this and I will show you how it actually looks like inside. If you find your battery is not working, one of the reasons could be a blown fuse. Always check this first if you are unable to charge. Sometimes it could be as simple as replacing a busted fuse. This is a hard body shell which protects the actual batteries inside. The casing is well constructed and very hard. I don't see any break in the case apart from these two sections over here. This part over here, but this part I'm not too worried about it because as if you can see from here, right, the plastic actually comes out of the metal casing. So any water, right, will actually drop down. But later on, I will also show you a method to protect this part over here. Now, the other part which is of concern to me is this bottom part. This bottom part is actually flush with the battery and it's actually in two separate components over here. So I will need to do some kind of protection on this portion here because this part will actually be at the bottom of the e-bike where water can actually splash up against the e-bike battery. These are the vital parts of the battery. Your e-bike battery might be designed differently. Try to identify the various parts and weak points on it so you can take steps to maintain and protect it, which I will be covering next for my e-bike battery. Different batteries have various charge cycles and different amount of time needed to complete a charge. Make sure to check with the retailer where you bought your e-bike from. I will also share a secret hack to identify how long any given charger and battery will take to charge. All you have to do is take a look at your charging brick. Over here it will show you the amount or output, which in this case is 2.5. I rounded down to the single digit, which is 2. My battery is a 12.8 Ah battery. Divide 12.8 Ah by 2 and I will get the total number of hours that I will need to charge this battery from a low capacity, which in this case is 6.4 hours, and so that's how I calculate it. What is the correct way to charge your battery? Always make sure to turn on the power switch on first, and then after that then you plug in your cable. Next, I'm going to show you how I'm going to protect my e-bike battery. So the first thing I'm going to take care of is the bottom part, which I told you I would like to protect against any water backsplash if I'm riding on wet roads or when it's raining. Basically what we are going to be doing is that we will be protecting this particular part, and for this what you will need is scissors and some electrical tape. The electrical tape is very cheap. You can actually get it from any hardware shop. I think it costs like 50 cents to 80 cents depending on the brand and the width of the tape. So let's start this. What I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to use the electric tape to tape around this. I will leave this part here empty because anyway this is the groove where the battery actually slides in. So this part is actually already well protected by the groove. To protect the top part of the battery, I previously used a plastic bag and rubber band to cover the part. However, I found the bag started pooling water if not covered correctly. And I also find it a hassle to insert and remove my key for pickups and drop-offs. And prolonged usage also causes heat buildup in the e-bike battery. So I did not want to use a full body plastic bag to cover the entire battery, as the battery needs to release heat. Covering the entire battery with a plastic bag interferes with heat dissipation. Another way is to use a swimming cap. Thank you to Youtiao Vlogs for sharing this hack. It is a better solution than the plastic bag method. However, I faced the same issue when trying to insert the key. Which brings me to this. This is a homemade hack which has 3 key benefits. A one-stop solution to protecting the key components on the top of my battery without sacrificing the ability to insert my key. The container is recycled for a better world, and milk is good for the bones. After enjoying the beverage of your choice with your family and friends, wash and dry the container. Next, use a marker to draw a straight line all across the container. Next, use a penknife to actually cut through the plastic. Don't worry too much if supposing it goes out of line. Once you have cut, you can see that this part here is actually a bit rough with some jagged plastics. You can use scissors to trim away any of the excess plastics which is jutting out, so that it gives you a nice, smooth, clean finish to the bottle cover. So there you have it. But we are not done yet. There is still another step that you need to do. Insert the battery in, and what you can do next is just put the power plug in as well, and then fit the cover over the battery, just like that. Next, we need to make a keyhole section over here for us to insert the key. So what I do is that I take a 50 cents coin and use a marker to actually do a circumference around the keyhole. Next, you're going to need this Phillips head screwdriver. All you need to do is just simply make a hole into the indenture. Be careful of your fingers when you're doing this. So just simply squeeze through until the thing actually goes through, and then pull it out, and so you have a hole here. Next, what you can do is you just simply use the scissors to cut to nearly the edge of the marking design. And then also make sure to trim away any of the sharp edges that you see over here. And so basically this is how the end result looks like, and you can actually insert your key in and switch it on. Yeah. And there you have it, a cost-effective and recyclable method to protect your e-bike battery. Coming up next, what to do when you are back home from riding in the rain and your battery casing is wet. Stick around and I will show you a bonus tip. Hey fellow riders, so time for my bonus tip. So you are out in the rain and your battery casing is wet. You have protected the top part of your battery, which contains like a lot of sensitive stuff on it. However, the casing is still wet. Upon reaching home, first turn off the power, detach the cable and remove the battery.
Next, take a dry cloth to mop up the water and clean any dirt which is become attached. Then place the battery in front of a fan and let it dry for 2 hours. This allows any moisture to dry up naturally while allowing the batteries inside to cool. Charge your battery when it is completely dry. You should also practice this even when there is no rain. Do not start charging it the moment you reach home. Always allow time for your battery to cool down first. And finally, if you are a food delivery rider, I highly recommend factoring in the cost of an additional battery. Or, purchase an additional battery as soon as possible after your initial purchase of the e-bike. Having two batteries allowed me to swap them on alternate days as well as maintain a backup, you know, power source in case something happens to one of them. So I can still continue to earn while doing food delivery. I hope you found this upload useful. If you want to see more such videos, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment down below on how you protect your e-bike better so we can all benefit from our collective knowledge. Ride safe, be safe, and I wish you all good earnings. Grab Adventures, signing out.